Hello students, today we are going, uh, I am Swarajam, contract lecturer in ECE, GPT, Nizamabad. So let us recap the topics we have discussed in the last class or last lecture. So in the last lecture, we have discussed the construction of C MOSFET, circuit details of MOSFET, C MOSFET, and working of C MOSFET, comparison of JFET and MOSFET. So in the construction of C MOSFET, we discuss how it is fabricating. That is, how we are taking the P-type substrate and how we are forming the N-well and how we are forming the N-mass and P-mass. So the fabrication process in step by step we discussed taking the SiO2 layer or depositing over the entire surface and photoresist and exposure to the UV lens and removing the part where it is not exposed to the one and diffusion is process is over occurred and NL is created. After that one, the P diffusions and N plus diffusions will be created, and after that one, the contacts will be created. So in the circuit details of MOSFET, it consists of one N mass and P mass. So both are complementary. That is circuit. The C mass can be acting as an inverter. Why? Because it is having the complementary of the ones in two transistors. So that is PMOS is complementary to the NMOS. So in the circuit, it is having the PMOS and NMOS are connected in series. The two gate terminals are connected together and the two drain terminals are connected together. And the P channel PMOS transistor source is connected to VDD and N channel source is connected to the ground. And the working of CMOSFET. So whenever this in the case 1 when the VGS is that input to the applied to the gate terminals is equal 0, then the P transistor PMOS transistor will be on and NMOS transistor will be off. So you will get the output will be 1. That is the VDD is applied to the PMOS transistors. Then the on transistor means it will be PMOS transistor is on means it is closed path. So you will get the output is 1. If the V input is logic high, that is supply voltage we are giving the 5 voltages more than 0 voltages. So then PMOS transistor will be off and it will be acting as open circuit, and NMOS transistor will be acting as on, then it will be acting as a closed switch. So here you will get the output is the VDD is not cannot be driven to the output voltage. So you will get the output is 0. So in the CMOS circuit, the output is the complement of the input. If you are applying the 0, you are getting the 1. If you are applying the 1, you will get the 0. And we discuss the comparison of JFET and MOSFET. So JFET is junction field effect transistor and MOSFET is the metal oxide semiconductor field effect transistors. So this JFET is operated only in the depletion mode, but whereas in the MOSFET can be operated in depletion and enhancement mode MOSFET. And JFET is input impedance is less compared to this MOSFET and having the high input impedance. So in this one JFET, there are the two regions, N region to N are the two P regions. In this one, only one region, either in the N channel or the P channel. So in this one JFET, the channel and the gate will form the junctions, but in this channel, gate forms a parallel plate of the capacitors. And here this JFET gate is not isolated from the channel, but here the gate is isolated from the um, channel by a layer of SiO2. So gate current is low in the MOSFET and the JFET is gate current is high. So we have the like this we have discussed so many differences in the JFET and MOSFET. So let us discuss what we are going to discuss in these lectures. So by this up to the CMOS transistors. The fourth unit is completed for you. So later we are going to start the fifth unit, which is for the DC power supplies. So the main objective of this today's class, by the completion of this lecture, you would be able to know what is the necessity of the DC power supply. So this unit is only for the DC power supplies. So you will go to learn about the necessity of DC power supply, circuit details of half wave rectifier, and working of half wave rectifier. So these are the topics we are going to be covered in our today's lecture. So what is DC power supply and what is the necessity of the DC power supply? So DC power supply. Almost all electronic circuits require a DC source of power for their proper functioning. So all electronic circuits requires a DC power supply for the proper working. So here in our laboratory, for each and every experiments we will be required the DC power supplies. Examples for DC source of power are batteries and DC power supplies. So the source of the DC power is either the batteries or the dry cells or supplies, DC power supplies. Battery is a combination of two or more cells. So we know what is a battery. So battery is a combination of two or more cells. Even though both cells and the DC power supplies are DC energy sources, they differ from one another in the process in which they supply the DC electrical energy. So both the cells are supplies the DC power supply. Again, if you are having the DC power supplies, even the both are providing the DC sources, DC supplies, but they differ from one another in the process in which they supply the DC electrical energy. So the amount of energy produced by the batteries, the dry cells is different compared to the power supply, DC power supplies. So they differ from the one to another, the way it is providing the DC power supply. So in the cells, DC electrical energy is produced by chemical action. So in the dry cells, that is in the cells, the DC electrical energy is produced by the chemical action. Whereas in the DC power supplies, DC electrical energy is obtained by the process of rectification. So in the DC power supplies, the DC electrical energy is produced by the process of rectification. That is, AC signal is converted into the DC. Actually, for the from the DC power supply, so you know, you are observed in the laboratories, that is from the mains we are getting the AC supply. That supply is applied to the DC power supply. From the DC power supply we are getting the output. That means this DC power supply internally it will be processed the rectification. That is that AC mains AC signal is converted into the DC signals. That is a constant signals we are getting. So that is the use of DC power supplies and cells. Cells is providing the DC power supply by the process of rectification. So here this DC power supplies requires, we will use in this DC power supplies in like amplifiers, oscillators and electronic gadgets like radio, tape recorders, TV, etc. And in the digital circuits like computers, digital meters, etc. also require the source of DC power supplies to drive them. So the sources of these DC power supplies are batteries and generators also. So here we use the batteries are used in the power supplies, used for the power supplies in portable equipments. So in the handy equipments we will be use the batteries. Suppose in our cell phones, cameras, and like handy equipments, calculators, we will be use the batteries. Batteries are used for the power supplies and portable equipments, but batteries are rarely used for this purpose as they are costly and require frequency replacement. And these batteries, suppose we are using the rechargeable, reusable, or the rechargeable batteries are if you are required, it is also requires the DC source to charge it. Okay. So DC power electronic circuits is most conveniently obtained from a commercial AC lines by using the rectifiers, filters and regulators called the power supplies. So here we are regulator power supply. This DC power supplies are we are using so it's so many ways, and in our electronic lab, electronic components are the electronic circuits, and when yeah, and whatever we are using the source of DC power supplies, that batteries or the dry cells are also used in so many components or the circuits. So these batteries are replaced by the DC power supplies by the process of rectification also. So why? Because these batteries are requires the again it is requires the charging. So regulated power supply. So how we are getting this one is regulated power supply. So first we are having the DC power supplies which converts the AC into DC and maintains the output voltage constant irrespective of the AC mains fluctuations or load variation is known as a regulated DC power supply. Yeah. What is regulated power supply are the DC power supplies. So a DC power supply which converts the AC to DC and maintains the output voltage constant irrespective of the AC means fluctuations or load variation is known as a regulated DC power supply. So here this IC regulator power supply is one kind of electronic circuit designed to provide the stable DC voltage of fixed values across the load terminals irrespective of the load variation. The main function of the regulator power supply is to convert an unregulated alternating current to the steady direct current. So here we are converting that AC current into the DC irrespective of the load variations or the main fluctuations anything. So we are maintaining the constant DC current. The RPSs, the regulated power supply is used to confine that if the input changes, then the output will be stable. Even if the, by if you are using the RPS means even there is the fluctuation in the input, that is in the mains AC signals, then that output will be stable. There will be no change in the output. So in general, even in your daily life, you are showing so many regulated RPS in our daily life, even our in the fluctuation in the our home. Suppose in a home we are connecting number of loads. If there is change in the variation in the loads, then there will be no change in the current. This power supply is also called a linear power supply, and this will allow an AC input as well as provide steady DC output. This also we can be called it as a linear power supply, and this will allow an AC input as well as it provides a steady DC output. That is we call as a regulated power supply. Power supply is providing the DC only. DC power supply means it provides the DC output only from the AC signals. The regulated power supply means even though if there is any fluctuations, at AC or the across the load, there will be no change in the output. It will be provides a constant DC output only. So here the block diagram of regulated power supply. So these are the main blocks in the regulated power supply. This is first one is the transformers, which is to this transformer we are applying the 230 volts AC main supply that is coming from our mains. So this transformer will be either it can be used as a step up transformer or the step down transformer. The transformer output will be AC. So this AC output is applied to the rectifiers. So this rectifier rectifies the this AC signal. That means it will be converted into the DC. This rectifier is function of the rectifier is to convert the AC signals into the DC. See, even though if the rectifier output is having any AC component or any variation in the output, then that output is smoothened by the using the smoothing circuits. So in the place of the smoothing circuits, we will be use the filters, and output of the filter is DC supply that is applied to the regulator, and the output of the regulator is regulated 5 volts DC. So you will get the maximum 5 voltage of regulated constant output voltage, DC voltage. So what is the necessity of the DC power supply for our electronic circuits? So nowadays almost all electronic circuits like amplifiers, oscillators requires a source of DC power. So these DC power supplies are used so many where in our electronic circuits, amplifiers, oscillators, right? Like and on electronic gadgets like radio, tape recorder, TV, etc. is a combination of several amplifiers and oscillators. So we can be using the radio, tape recorders and TV, etc. The source of DC powers are batteries and the DC generators. So here the sources of DC powers are batteries and DC generators. In low power or in the portable devices. So just now we discussed that we are written here it is, that is in low power are the portable devices. Batteries or dry cells are used as a source of DC powers. So in handy devices we are using the DC power source is a batteries or the dry cells. But their operating time period is limited and they need frequent replacement and are costly. So the lifetime of the batteries are very less. So you have to replace or recharge the batteries. So if you want to recharge that one, you have to need the another DC source. Or else if you want to replace, then the cost of the equipment will be increases. In practice, DC power for electronic circuit is most conveniently obtained from domestic AC supply by using rectifier filter system called the DC power supply. In practice, DC power for an electronic circuit is most conveniently obtained from domestic AC supply by using rectifier filter system is called DC power supply. This is mentioned in this block diagram, that is rectifier and filtering. After only you are getting DC power supply, that is from the main supply. That is the necessity of the DC power supply. So here the first block, the main source of this DC power supply, regulated DC power supply is rectifier and filters. So you have to discuss the first about the rectifiers. This transformer is only provides the AC signals only. We are now from the output of the transformer we are getting only the AC signals. So this transformer is having either the two types, either step up or the step down. If the step up transformer using, the applied voltage will be increases. If the step down transformer using, the applied voltage will decreases. But that is in the AC only. But this AC signal is converted into the DC by means of rectifier. So you have to discuss about the rectifier. So what is rectifier? A rectifier may be defined as an electronic device such as a semiconductor diode used for converting alternating current voltage or current into unidirectional voltage or current. So that is the definition of rectifier, which is used to convert AC current or the AC voltage into the DC voltage or DC current. So it is a simple diode which is constructed in the circuit with, such as a semiconductor diode. So classifications of rectifiers. Rectifier circuits are basically of two types depending on the alternating voltage they take as input. That means the way we are applying the input. So rectifiers are classified into single phase rectifiers, polyphase rectifiers. Whereas rectifiers may be classified into two categories depending upon the period of conductions. They are half wave rectifiers and full wave rectifiers. So this is the topic we have to discuss in our syllabus. So these two topics, the single phase rectifiers and polyphase rectifiers, are not having in our syllabus. But just remember, in the classification, that is classified based on the alternating voltage they take as input. Okay. Next one is classification of rectifiers. One is half wave rectifier, full wave rectifiers. So again, the full wave rectifiers are may further be classified into two categories depending upon the nature of the circuit connections. So the way we are connecting the circuit, the full wave rectifiers are classified again into the two types, that they are center tapped full wave rectifier, bridge full wave rectifiers. So both are the full wave rectifiers, but the way we are connecting the circuit, that is classified into the center tapped full wave rectifier and bridge full wave rectifier. That means bridge means it is like a closed path. The center tapped means there is a division of the circuit. So half wave rectifier circuit detail. Here, this is our AC main supply, 230 volts, 50 Hz frequency, single phase AC supply. So that is applied to the transformer. So our first circuit is in the regulated power supply is AC mains and to the applied to the transformers and applied to the rectifiers. So this is the circuit of rectifier, that is diode, and this one is resistor is connected in the load. That is that resistor we call it as a load resistance. Okay, let us discuss the circuit details. Here it is. This figure shows the this figure 5.2a shows the basic half wave rectifier circuit. It consists of a transformer, a diode and a load resistors. So this is transformer and diode and one load resistance. The single phase AC supply to be rectified is applied to primary of the transformer and the voltage across the secondary is available for rectification. So this transformer, this side of wiring we call is a primary winding and this winding we call it as a secondary winding. For the primary winding, we are applying the AC main supply, single phase AC supply. This applied voltage will be available across the secondary winding, which is applied for the rectification to the diode. So the single phase AC supply to be rectified is applied to the primary of the transformer and the voltage across the secondary is available for rectification. There are two advantages with the use of transformer. So here what is the use of the transformer means it is having the two advantages. So what are these advantages? These are it step up or step down the AC voltage. So if you are using the step up transformer, it will be step up the AC voltage. Or if you are using the step down transformer, then it will be step down the AC voltages. And at the same time, it isolates the rectifier circuit from the AC main supply. So this reduces the risk of electric shocks. So here this AC supply is isolated from the this AC supply is isolated from the rectifier circuits. Suppose if you are directly applying that circuit, applying the AC mains to the rectifier circuit, that circuit will be damaged. Or if you touch the AC supply directly, then you will get the shock also. So to overcome that risk of electric shocks, we are using LED transformer. So it isolates the rectifier circuits from AC main supply, thus reduces the risk of electric shock. Okay, that is the two advantages of this use of transformers. So let us discuss the working of half wave rectifier. So how it is working and what is the operation of this half wave rectifiers. So in the case 1, we can be describe the working of these transformers in different cases. So in the case 1, during the positive half cycle of AC input voltage, the end A is positive with respect to the end B. So here in the transformer, whenever we are applying the positive supply, that is alternating current. So this is if you are applying the sinusoidal voltage during the positive supply, here this end A is positive with respect to the B. But when you are applying the negative potential, that is alternating current sine waves negative potential reaches, then this end A is negative with respect to the B. So what will happen here when A is positive with respect to B means here the diode will be conducts. This is anode potential and this one is cathode potential. Here this anode potential is greater than this cathode potential. Then diode will be conducts, that will be acting as a short circuit. Then the current will be flows through the circuit. So during the positive off cycle of AC input voltage, the end A is positive with respect to end B. This makes diode D is forward biased and it acts as a closed circuit. Therefore, the current IL flows through the load resistor RL in clockwise direction as shown in figure K. So here when during the positive AC supply this end A is positive with respect to B. So this anode potential is greater than this cathode potential, then diode will be conducts and it will be acting as a closed circuit. So if it is closed circuit, then the current will be flows through the circuit in this clockwise direction through this load resistance RL. Here we are representing the V in, that is the input voltage V in is to Vm sin omega t. That is why we are taking the AC voltage. That's why we are representing the sinusoidal AC signals Vm sin omega t. This Vm is indicates the magnitude of that sinusoidal signals and this omega is indicates the frequency of that sinusoidal signals. So therefore the current IL flows to the load resistor RL in clockwise direction as shown in figure A. So next the case A, case 2. During negative half cycle of the input voltage, end B is positive with respect to end A. And this makes the diode is reverse biased and it is acts as an open circuit. So there will be no current flows to the load RL. So in this, whenever we are reaching the negative potential of the sinusoid signals, then B will be become as a positive with respect to this end A. So this negative potential, then this anode potential is this anode potential is lesser than compared to this cathode potential. So the diode will be reverse bias and then it will be acting as a open circuit. So there is no path to flow the current. So the current cannot be flow in the load resistance. So this makes the diode D is reverse biased and it acts as open circuit. No current flows through the load resistance resistor RL. So in the case 3, thus the current flows through the load resistance RL during the positive half cycle of AC input voltage only. Okay, during the positive half cycle only of the positive half cycle of the input only, the current will be flows through the load due to the diode is conducting. Hence, the DC output is obtained across RL. It may be noted that output across the load is pulsating DC. It is not exactly pure DC. It is somewhat pulsating DC at the output of RL. So the input and output waveforms are shown in figure B. So this is the actual input voltage we are applying at the AC mains. That is, this is the input voltage we are representing in the 230 volts 50 hertz one phase single AC supply. That is the sinusoidal input voltage here we are showing. So this input voltage is we are applying at the AC mains. So at the transformer end, at the secondary end, this is at the primary ending AC input signal. At the secondary end, during this positive off cycle, that is 0 to pi period, the diode is forward biased and conducts. So the current will be flows through this period. That is, during this period, this amount of this current is flowing through the circuit, and that is voltage is across the load. And during the negative half cycle, that is pi to 2 pi, then diode is reverse bias. That is, it will be open circuit. Then there will be no current flows through the load. So the output voltage across the load is 0. And again the positive half cycle from the 2 pi to 3 pi. Again during this positive half cycle, again the diode will be conducts and the current will be flows through the load, and this is the voltage across the load. Again 3 pi to 4 pi, again this AC main supply is negative. Again the diode will be reverse bias and open circuit and no current will be flows. So there will be no voltage across the load resistance. So this is indicates this is as a pulsating DC. It is not exactly pure DC. So to overcome this pulsating DC, this output is whatever getting this is a DC output is applying to the filtering circuit to smoothing this output. So this is a half-wave rectifier circuit diagram and working conditions and waveforms. So here we have discussed what is the necessity of DC power supply and circuit details of half-wave rectifier and working of half-wave rectifier. So frequently asked questions on this topic is what is mean by regulated DC power supply and explain the working of half-wave with a need diagram. So what is regulated power supply? A DC power supply which converts the AC into DC and maintains the output voltage constant irrespective of mains fluctuation or load variation is known as a regulated DC power supply. And explain the working of half wave rectifier with need circuit and what is the need of regulated power supply. So where we are using this regulated power supply, all the electronic circuits, transistor, receivers, transmitters and TV and mobile and portable circuits. So like that it requires the DC power supplies. So let us discuss some simple questions on this regulated power supplies. In an unregulated power supply, if the load current increases, the output voltage remains the same, decreases, increases, none of the above. If it is regulated voltage, regulated power supply, it will be remains the same. But it is an unregulated power supply. So if the load current increases, then output voltage decreases. So that is option is B. So from the battery chargers, if you are getting the battery chargers, we get AC, DC, none of the. So batteries also will also be provide the DC charge, DC supply only. So the option is DC. Which of the following can be a source of supply in DC power supplies? Which of the following can be a source of supply in DC power supplies? Battery, dry cell, full wave rectifier, none all of the mentioned. So battery is also a source of DC supply. Dry cell is also a source of DC supply. And full wave rectifier. Rectifier is also either the half wave rectifier or the full wave rectifiers. But the rectifier is also a source of DC supply. So option is D. All of the mentioned above. And which of the applications filters are used for? Which of the applications filters used for reducing ripples, increasing phase change, increasing amplitude? So filters are using for the smoothing. Smoothing circuits are also known as filters. So these filters are used to reducing the ripples. So after the output of rectifiers, it is having pulsating DC that we call as a ripples. So in the waveforms, we are having in the waveform we shown like this. This type of this waveform we call it as a ripples. So these ripples can be smoothened by using the filters. So the option is reducing the ripples. So the last one, which of the following represents a change of output voltage when load current is increased? Which of the following represent a change of output voltage when load current is increased? If the load current increases, output will should be constant. So what should be how to use? Line regulation, load regulation, current regulation and voltage regulation. So we have to use load regulation. If we are taking the load, output is we are taking across the load. So we have to use the load regulations. Which of the following represent a change of output voltage when load current is increased means how to use the load regulations. So option is B. So these are the topics we are covering. Need of what is regulated power supply, what is the need of power supply and what is rectifier, what are the classifications of the rectifiers and working of rectifiers and waveforms also we are discussed the rectifiers. So that is this today's class we are discussed about the half wave rectifiers and working conditions.